Want to make sure that we are good on both platforms. Okay. I think we're good. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host, and this is the place, of course, where we love South African football. We love African football, and every now and then, those things come together, especially during an international week where we're going to be talking about teams qualifying for the World Cup. 9 teams qualifying directly from Africa, 4 teams to play a playoff. The best second place finishes, the 4 best second place finishers play in a playoff against each other, and then they go to the world playoff. But 9 teams are going to be going straight through. Teams like Morocco have booked their way in. Teams like Egypt have booked their way in. Ivory Coast, Balwana Libo, Gabon. All the way to the final day. We're looking at Equatorial Guinea that had so many problems. Guys, if you think Bafana had problems, you don't know about this team called Equatorial Guinea, because the whole team got fired administratively because of a thing that happened 13 years ago. It's been 13 years in investigation, and finally FIFA acted on it. They got Emilia Insu, the top goal scorer of the AFCON, out of the team. They said he doesn't qualify. That went to appeal. The appeal was won, but then FIFA said, we're not going to give you back those points. There is so much happening in African football right now, but of course, you know where we are. We are here, Komzansi, and we're going to do 2 things tonight. Tonight, we're going to firstly look at the review of the actual game. So the first hour today is going to be dealing with the game that happened, how we are feeling about the game. And then, of course, the second hour will be about what is the fallout? How do we go into the game versus Rwanda? Remember, the show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. And then if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi, Sundowns, Bafana, or Banyana are in action, we will be here doing a watch-along. So, guys, tomorrow.
Welcome to GCSE Maths Calculator exam. So you can use your calculators, students. So get them out.
You can use the calculators, and if you cannot use your calculator,
40, 30, 70, nala 8, nala 6, 8 plus 6, 14.
And then, of course, I hope some of you.
I'm the greatest mathematician on earth. They call me the walking calculator.
81 divided by 9 plus 4
why
minus 2.
Why are you using dividing? Why are you dividing it?
Why are you dividing it, guys? It is calculator time. Please feel free to request so I can let you in. And remember, the panel is 25 minutes. Everybody's going to get 5 minutes to tell me what they're thinking. Please try and make it 2 minutes of what you're thinking, and then give me some time to ask you a question or two. Galikopa, guys, Galikopa. So that's how it's going to work. So feel free to request right now, and I will let you in, and we can have a conversation about this here Bafana that we are seeing here. So, Bongs, Champ. Hey. What do you think, champ? What do you think, champ?
I think we should stop playing football and start playing rugby, because we now have rugby players on a football pitch. Whole football pitch. We have a rugby player.
Oh, what's wrong with Mbogas? He's a young boy. We've gone through a lot.
Remember the first time I told you the first game of the season against Polokwane City, and I told you about Mbogazi that at some point he might give a penalty or a red card, and now he does it on an international level, on a game where we really need those points. He gets a red card, and then this is the alien, the guy we call an alien, a TLB, someone who plays like a rugby player. Someone who's supposed to be on Rassi Erasmus's squad instead of Hugo Bross's squad.
Mara, 2 things, Bongs. Number 1, did the red card affect the game? Did the red card affect the game? I mean, it was at the end. And then number 2, I mean, isn't this what was bound to happen? You can only be on the up and up. There has to be some challenges. Adversity.
Look at it this way, OT. I told you about these changes in the squad, that those black and white players
Yeah,
are not
man.
gonna take us anywhere.
Yeah,
Marawa Start
man.
FC was the way to go.
Bongs, carry
Mamelodi
your head,
Sundowns was the way
Bongs.
to
What's
go.
happening?
Mamelodi Sundowns got us a bronze at AFCON. No, I'm really hurt because the coach is the one who started all this war. So I'll have to defend my players as well because he's the one who started this war and now he can't finish this war.
Yeah.
He started the war, he can't finish it.
Can I Bongs remind the people what do you support?
I support the Golden Black of Pefeni, the Glamour Boys of Naturena, Amakosi, Kaizer Chiefs.
So Bongs, I want to ask you. Let's talk
Yeah,
about.
so-
Let's talk a little bit about the game. When you look at it, Bafana started slow. They started safe. It's almost like they were a little bit scared. They slowly got into the game, but by the time they did, it was a little bit late. And when Zim got that red card, it changed even Zimbabwe's plan.
Zimbabwe came with a plan, and their game plan was to distract South Africa from qualifying. They did that by playing the most hated football from me, which is playing the low block, which I've always told you, OT. I hate that type of football. They were defending with 7 players, even though we even got a one-on-one chance from Foster, who could have lobbed the ball into the net. But he decided to just try and tap the ball. He missed a golden opportunity to help Bafana get those 3 crucial points we needed for us to be safe in the following game.
What do you think of Lau Foster's inclusion? Do you think that he brings something to Bafana, or should we be looking at the guy like Evidence who's been there the whole time?
Well, Evidence, I'm not really trusting on Evidence. Also, I don't trust on Foster. Foster likes to play it safe because he only wants to be fit for when he plays for Burnley, instead of remembering that he has to also represent his country. He's always failing his country. He's never been a person where we can say we trust in Foster for him to deliver for Bafana.
So he's injured right now. Do you think that it's more of the same?
Yes, Oti.
Do you think that it's more of the same? Apparently he's injured right now.
I don't think he's injured. I think he's faking it just to go back to Burnley and start playing for Burnley. He's never been a player that will play for Bafana. He first started coming with this thing, only depression, he can't come to play for the AFCON. And now he's starting to fake injuries. He's doing what Benny used to do, refusing to come and play for Bafana.
Okay, Bugs, for time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Daddy G Clothing Brand. Daddy G Clothing Brand, welcome.
Hi, my guy. How are you?
I'm good at you, my brother. Tell me about this. What do you feel about this game that Bafana played?
Are you referring to the Zimbabwe ones?
Yes, to the
versus South
Zimbabwe
Africa?
game. Yes.
I think the performance was poor. I don't want to lie. The performance was poor. And then there's another thing that we're missing. Tomorrow, Bafana will definitely win. And Benin will definitely win.
Oh, but that's the second hour.
Trust
We're
me
going to
on
talk
that.
about that in the second hour. I want to drill into this game. Bafana is under pressure. They come in. Do you think that they choked? Do you think that they choked? Do you think that they should have come out guns blazing?
No, they were rushing. Actually, they were rushing. They were rushing. The whole 90 minutes, they were rushing things.
Why do you think it was that?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because they were panicking. Actually, it was just a matter of panicking, thinking about World Cup, something that we don't have yet.
And then psychologically,
They're
tell me,
thinking
do you
about their
think...
pockets already, the bonuses.
Yeah, man. They think about the bonuses. How can they need to win? Shouldn't
No,
the
they're
bonus
not-
make
they're
them
not fit.
perform?
Yeah, but you mustn't think about the USA. Well, you don't have. I mean, how can you think about something that you don't have in your pocket or in your hands? That's the downfall. Trust me on that.
So how much did the Mokwena thing play into this? Because you go from a country, a team that is sure that they're going to go through to this World Cup, the 3 points get deducted, you have to change your mindset. Do you think that that change might have hurt them?
Definitely. It was a turning point, actually.
I think
It's
there's a
bad.
bit of
Actually, it's bad right now because we're panicking.
I think there's a bit of a delay there, Dariji. Dariji, I'm going to let you go because it's just not flowing right now. I think there's a bit of a delay. So I'm going to bring in Tyler. Tyler, tell me, what did you think of the game?
Hey, OT, how are you?
I'm good, and you? Can you hear me properly? I'm not cutting.
Yeah, you can hear you properly, OT. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Tell me about this game.
Hey, OT. Good evening, gents. Good evening, ladies. Yeah, Ish. And you know, I just saw now, Lesotho has won against the very same uh, Zimbabwe, 1-0, and we
Yeah.
failed to do that. Um, you know, this thing, when I look at it, it's so painful because it's like, you know, you see a neighbor, esokolayo, you a child, then you take care of this child for years, feed her, take it to school, develop her. Then the neighbor now, child sees good. I wish this person can die. Hmm? You've been taking care of this neighbor for years. And that's what's happening here. These people, and all this time, Tina, we're sending food there. Even myself, I
Evan.
went there, the Department of Rural Development. We send food to Zimbabwe.
Evan.
Their players are being developed in South Africa. All of those players, some of those players are developed here. Eh? And all this time, they wish us to suffer, putting
But,
7 defenders.
but to be fair,
And you see how proud they are. You like, we fed you. We're still feeding you. Eh? And Nina, you wish us bad. You wish us to feel the way we feel. What the heck is that?
but
Look
that's
now, they've lost
unfair.
against
But that's
Lesotho.
unfair. That's unfair.
It's not fair what they're doing
They've
to us.
won. They've won people trophies. They've played in the country. Makesi won with Chipezete, for example. Arubi just beat Santa. Like they're performing. It's not that they're here for free, is it?
They're performing. They're number 0 there in that group. How are they performing? They're number 0 there.
Chipezete said.
When they play against us, they raise their game. You see how they play. We're like, what the heck is this? Play the way you were playing, man. Chin.
Mara
Look, now we
Chipezete said they're getting ready for AFCON, Tyler. They're getting ready for AFCON. They need to play serious. You're playing the third best player, third best country.
When you are playing against us. OT, you could hear from their press conference. All
Okay.
these people want to inflict. They want to inflict pain. Right? You could hear, here we're coming here to defend, you know. And they've done that. But Hugo Bros, I don't understand the football he was playing as well. It was so frustrating. You're taking out Ngota. Ngota was performing very well on the left-hand side. You introduce Umurena, who plays around defenders. Ngota with Mbule. They were doing something. And now you take out Ngota. It's only Mbule who's trying to do something, who's trying to score. I'm like, we don't have an attacking midfielder, and you're trying to cross the ball. Since when do we cross the balls now? Like, what the heck is going on in this game? We are rushing.
Did they
our
choke
play.
under pressure, Tyler? Did they choke under pressure?
They did. And I think maybe it's they over explain things to them.
They were overthinking it.
Sorry, can you hear me, OT?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think they over analyzed things. They over spoke to them. You know, sometimes you just need to. Players know what's important. You don't have to over analyze and over motivate. And yeah, we need this from you, boy. It's sometimes psychological that because that's putting pressure on someone. So they need to have also looked into that,
For the
right?
last minute,
When you are
Tyler.
playing the final,
For the last minute, Tyler, I want to ask you directly. South Africans,
well, that's in
do we
there.
have a? It is. Leslie, you started at 18, man. You started at 18. Remember, I got Daddy G out early. Last minute, do you think South Africans struggle with the pressure of these games? Sundowns, Pirates. We've seen it with the Chiefs. Do you think that it's a South African thing?
You're raising something very, very critical now. Very, very something. There's a DNA of South Africa. When they play where it matters, they crack. Look at Sundowns. Look at their final when they play against Pyramid. That is not Sundowns. That is not Sundowns, and that's not how Sundowns defend. By the way, for that guy to find 2 goals there, that's not how they play. They cracked. And when I OT, you might not. Some people might not agree with me, but the removal of Rulani from South Africa has this impact. This is the huge impact of Rulani.
But he choked as well. But he choked as well 3 times.
No, but through Rulani, we had a Bafana that was performing very well because we have 7 players, half of the team that was coming developed by Rulani. Abo right back, what Kimang
Motaung.
proper developed. Mudao, Abo Mokwena, who were pressing the ball, moving the ball high. The Mokwena that you saw in this match is not the Mokwena that was under Rulani. Right?
Okay,
Where is
okay.
where is the defense? Right. Mbokas, why do you put Mbokas? So much pressure on that boy. And you see we are left with 4 minutes. You hook the ball. I'm like, what are you doing, Mar? What is he doing?
For time, Tyler.
You need experience. And the introduction
Yeah.
was a blunder, was a huge blunder for Hugo Bros.
For
Why
time
are
over
you
the
not putting
champion.
Baka? You've been playing
Oh,
Baka when
Tyler.
OT.
Oh,
No,
Tyler.
you're
Time,
frustrated.
Tyler.
I'm
Time,
really
Tyler.
frustrated.
Simpiwe wants to come in. Aye, Tyler. Oh, Simpiwe.
How are you doing,
Welcome.
man?
I'm good at you, my brother.
I'm also good. Firstly, I would like to greet everybody who's watching, like in the comment section, and everybody who's been part of the panel as well. For me, I was grateful because I had to watch the game live in the stadium, and firstly, like people who came in numbers, which is something that I think we have been working on over the past few years, showing support to the national team as well. But for me, what was surprising is the approach when it comes to the game, because it was like the coach wanted to defend something. It was like for him a point was enough, because if you are playing with a 6-6, you are already telling us that you are good with just a point if that's the worst outcome to the game. Because like if you were watching the game properly, it was like we had no number 8. It was a 6-6. Then Sipombule at the front of them who was playing as a 10. So like that already told me that okay, maybe we are just going for a draw in this game.
Yeah.
Because even after Zimbabwe got that red card, you could feel that it was still like we are approaching for a draw, not for a win. Because you could, like Hugo Bruce, from that moment, he could have just went for attacking players. Because Light Foster wasn't giving us anything, to be honest. There was a chance he missed where he went one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Instead of just chipping the ball above the goalkeeper, he just went straight for the goalkeeper. That already tells you this person has to go out. Even the chance that he got where he was supposed to pass the ball, just played down, I think it was Apollis or something, who was, he decided to kick the ball for himself. That just, for me, told me that this guy doesn't want to be here. Maybe it's because he's a striker. Sometimes strikers also like being selfish, you know. But it for me, because I'm also part of like development coaching, it made me wonder: are we going through something in South Africa where we are going through a crisis where we need target strikers? Because it feels like all the strikers we have are mobile strikers. Because if you watched the game, most of the time, Lyle Foster wasn't even in the box, like in the 19 area. Most of those crosses, Nkotsa tried it during the first half where he was trying to cross the ball, and even Apolis, but they weren't finding the striker as well. I think Morena came in, did the same thing. The balls weren't finding the striker. That already tells us that we have a problem when it comes to the striker, because every time the ball goes into the 19 area, there's no one there, because our striker is a mobile striker. He's always tracking back. Because there were moments where Nkotsa tried kicking the ball, even Tipo Mbule in the first half. They were trying to kick the ball outside the box. They saw that there was a potential. If you remember very well, there was a ball Nkotsa tried. I think it hit the crossbar or something. From that moment, I think the team should have just realized playing all those balls inside the box wasn't going to work. Just try and kick the ball from anywhere and see if it's going to work. Because I think about 2 or 3 opportunities that hit the crossbar from that moment.
Can I ask you two questions just for the last minute here? On Sitole and Mokwena, what do you say to the people that say that was the base of the most successful Bafana team we've had at AFCON, well, up to this point in recent memory? And then number 2, do you think that we've adequately replaced Zwane, Persitao? Do you think evidence should have come in if you want to make that thing complete?
Okay, let me first answer the second question. The people I was with in the stadium, we had that thing that maybe Mahopa would have been a better option, because he has an understanding with those 3 people. He already played with Nkotsa club level, already plays with Apolis club level. Maybe there would have been opportunities opened up, because Lyle Foster, as much as he's been part of the national team, but sometimes it feels like he doesn't have an understanding with the people he plays with.
Okay.
Then with the Themba Zwane situation, for me, I don't think we'll ever replace Themba Zwane in the national team, because he has a different approach. If you look at the approach that Sipho Mbule has, it's different from what Themba Zwane gives you. So you can't really say he's been replaced unless you are changing like the team structure as well, because Themba Zwane is like a mobile number 10. He plays everywhere. Sipho Mbule just is in the middle. He will never give you an option whereby he also goes in and helps the number 9 as well. Then the first question, can you please repeat it?
That midfield was the base of the AFCON success we had last year.
It was the best, yes, but we have to remember Yaya just literally came back. I don't think he has played even 10 games as yet. That already tells you maybe he isn't match fit as much as we want him to be. Hence why maybe the coach played him just for 45 minutes, you know. And also there was that argument that maybe instead of having Abbas come in, we could have had Mbata come in, because Mbata would have given you that option as a number 8 where we keep on going forward. We need to remember there was a time where Zimbabwe was like literally 10 men, there was 1 man down. We could have tried to play an attacking team. We could have became an attacking team rather than a team that played, you know.
For time, I have to jump in, my brother. I want to bring in Tuli. Tuli, tell me about this game, man.
Hey, Mr. Uti, how's it?
But gimnandi, but Tuli.
Oh, Mr. Uti, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
This weekend I was miserable. I had to forfeit my social media. Anything that was going to remind me of that game. Saying to heal, you know.
Yeah.
No, hey, Mr. Outing, one play game, I think this point deduction thing, I think in a role in terms of mentality to our players. I think if, let's say, we didn't have a point deduction or any issues, come back 6-17, I think in the level so approach a game, being a given fear, hey, we shouldn't sleep and whatnot. But in the game, when we started the game, basically 6-6. Because that game we had to show from the get-go ukuthi la sizohlasela impela sifuna ukuwina yabo. So first half I saw there was a lack of sense of urgency. Yabo. Azange attack that much bese consecutive kakhulu silale ibhola emuva besiya phambili in patches here and then yabo, which was my greatest concern lapho yabo, because the only time we had a sense of urgency is second half, and I think we left it to ukuthi siqala uku-attack seku-late yabo. But if maybe we had the same intent now second half, even the first half, probably we would have got a goal or something yabo. But I think we left it for too late, Mr. Otsi. And then what masekushaya substitution, I was hoping it's okay, maybe since it seems like ayimvumi game and vele we don't need a 6-6. I thought maybe makushaya substitution keeper uyaya mhlambe kuzongena someone who's gonna be number 8 also progressive la phambili, but kwavele wangena like life for like from uyaya wangena usponsor phaka who's this guy yena Obas. So yeah, so quite like for abont ayikho into lokhunjani eshintshayo egaming. Even namalokhunjani enye into engiyibonile, it's ama set pieces ethu, ama corner kick, they were all so poor yabo. If we yakhumbula if I think bedlala Nigeria PE ne Zimbabwe PE on the first leg, I think besibashaya ngamakhona. I think Obas noMkwena bakorre ngama head out 2. We bossed them there, but kule game besiyidlala high. And then yezo le gang iblame iZimbabwe. Nami ngizoyiblame iZimbabwe, okay, not in terms of ukuthi medisiyeke. Why are they wasting time? Like, cause vele bona sebephumile and so forth. Abadlala igame abangadlali ama-dark, they don't need i-dark art and what not. Akudlalwa igame bebemosha isikhathi lapho Washington Arubu yalimala, bebe eda nje more to frustration yelokhunjani.
But do they owe us anything?
They don't owe us anything. But dlala game, no, like don't play dirty tactics. Yeah, so nje hayi Mr. Uthi hayi inhliziyo yami ibhlungu, I'm not sure if isoya kule World Cup. I'm not sure if ngizobuka igame yakusasa. Sengiya-understand abantu babekhuluma ngama-heartbreak.
But guys, better support, guys.
Yeah, no support.
Nifuna ukungishiya ngiyi-1 lana. Ngizikhalela ngiyi-1. Guys, please.
Isikhala sibaningi Mr. Uthi, isikhala sibaningi.
Awukhonali.
All right, no Mr. Uthi, no time. At least ngishaya isikhathi, yeah.
Thank you. Tuli.
Sure.
Hey guys, we're gonna head into the second panel. Guys, remember, there's 4 panels, 5 people. Each person gets 5 minutes to speak. And also, the thoughts and views expressed by the panelists and those in the comments are not those of Overthinking Football or of its host George Mokwena, and should not be deemed as such because nyanibona nina. There's a line that people are willing to cross here and akibati. But just as a reminder,
welcome to GCSE Maths Calculator exam. So you can use your calculator, students. So get them out.
40, 30, 70, nala 8, nala 6, 8 plus 6, 14.
And then of course,
I'm the greatest mathematician on earth. They call me the walking calculator.
81 divided by 9 plus 4
why
minus 2.
Why are you using dividing? Why are you dividing it?
Why are you dividing it, guys? Why are you dividing it? Can I just say, before I let the next panel in, can I just say, guys, don't underestimate Lesotho. Even in the Nigeria game, do you understand that the penalty was a handball, first goal, and Nigeria, right? They scored the second goal. Obviously, there was some pressure. Lesotho scored, made it 2-1. They scored to make it 2-1. Then literally in 90 plus 3 or something like that, they had an opportunity that just went wide. So please, let's not sleep on our other neighbors, guys. Our other neighbors, please. Hey, Luna una le line and community guidelines. Community guidelines are TikTok. Guys, please mute when you come in. So please don't get me banned, guys. Hey, nani. Ni strong la makama wenu man. How's it coming?
Up Joti.
Lewe na wakenela. Zimbabwe.
Ha batho ba ntse ba lla ba re Zimbabwe ne tisitse ne sa ba fa chance ankere Zimbabwe ba la ba sala ba le technical baleng bo Mamang FC wa ba sa wina match eo ba ne ba le 10 against 11 ha ba wina ke ha ba wina ke ba Zimbabwe ba file chance ba beya motho a le mong kantle la thine ba batla Zimbabwe etsetsa ba tloe ka dipalong bona ba kore fela yeah.
Asithabi ba re shapile kae ba re entseng team yao aya fitla
ba re shapile kae butle ska re ba re shapile kae ona esa Kaizer Chiefs will support our boys o sa ne re supporta Ntwari as much as Hugo Bruce a sa batle hore a khutle a lo apologize ka ntho a ntsa I bona hore na e etsa drama e jwang ka ga South Africa ha sa ithobi monna moholo a tlo kopa tshwarelo hore rona ska ba re kenya ha re kene ndao
mara lena Ntwari re jisitse from Phukeka ka penini phela ke yena
jisitse ese khosi jwale ho sa ne ka msupport as a nation re lo ba le yena monana against king Pirates Mamelodi yona ye hulukile re tlo hape batho ba ba ska ba ikutlwisa bohloko hore why defenders tsa Kaizer Chiefs di etsa so ankere we are nothing skebela wa ra ka rona we are nothing ga wana le rona hore na rona re fila yang ha ke tsebe why ba utlwisa bohloko ga ba bua ha re tsebe why di defenders tsa Kaizer Chiefs ha se eta se tisa wena Toti kwena o tla utlwa pain ha bua ntho tse bohloko ka Kaizer Chiefs ke rona ma Chiefs re tla utlwa pain ha ya tla ho bona ba ibonela hole a le ka nna la tshwarela ha ba tshwarele ka dipelo tsa bona ha ba ena e re utlwang e rwetswe ke rona ya rwalwa ke bona ha ba re tlwelle re decide hore re batla ho etsa eng ka maphelo a rona ho sane Ntwari ra msupporta Chabalala ga mrata boy mara ho sane we are right behind Ntwari ha re kene ya Pirates Mamelodi ho sane bona 3 goals le ha ka ba wina o sane ba ke se bone 3 goals and Nigeria e lo wina as much as ba profita ba Nigeria ba qadile ba prophesize hore Nigeria ya World Cup ho lokile rona o sane we are behind Ntwari re tlohelleng re etse ntwe re batlang ka maikutlo a rona ke rona re utlwang bohloko ha o bua ha bohloko ka Chiefs ha se lona tswanta bentsa rona
mara o senthabi nna ke batla ya America next year le bafana
le mong ka pelo ha rona re le makhosi ha rena taba
mara le mtu wa ka America ke re ba mkgethile
ha re hane modu re tlo mo fa le ratwang ke re no yana sentse ba bua ba re ba tina ba le betla ka because mdu a teng ka mo nna ne ke re bula o khona la mtutu se ha ngale camp ba tlo wa kula o ile ha ke se khoni ha ngale camp
mara o senthabi
asale le yona bafana na bona
mara kupa go botsa o senthabi ka game bafana ene kare e tsugile man o nagana ke yona taba tsa di 3 points
no jena batho ba ntse ba re ba right behind bafana ha o ka ba botsa ha le shebile he le bona hore ke mang a tla etsa di changes le bona hore le ka win a game no ha ona motho ba ka kgonang hore ke bone ka re a policy ha kopane le mamang ba tla etsa go o be brave fela o be proud ga ke a tseba nyeo le nyeo tshepile hore ba tla etsa ha ba kgone ho bua jwalo so re tlweleng rona we are right behind Ntwari re tlohelleng ka bafana
okay asithabi re go tlogela ka re ke siyabonga welcome
thanks OT.
Hey, we're not fine, man. How did you feel about this game that they played versus Zimbabwe?
Yo, to be honest, I wasn't feeling good. I almost not going to work the following day. But I managed to wake up and go to work, guys. The way I love my country, to be honest. I couldn't take it. I was watching the game standing. I didn't even sit in the chair.
Yeah.
You know, the way I was screaming, you know, my wife was even laughing at me, you know, but it's emotional because why? We need 3 points, guys. We really need 3 points. Okay. One thing I would say about that game, we honestly needed those 2 key players, Ureinas no Mufugeng.
Okay.
Let's be honest, guys, because those two guys, they are always in goal scoring, in the goal scoring contribution in every match we play. They always contribute. If they don't score, they will assist. In most of these games that we play in this qualifying, let's be honest, those are the two key players. It's a blow. Now we must continue with what we have. Fine. And I also have a question. I can be off tune a bit. I just want to ask, man, why is most of the time colored players are not getting enough chances? I will name those colored players that I believe they deserve to be there. First of all, Luther Singh. We know Luther Singh has got experience. He's been injured. The guy has been injured for for a while, but he's back now and is doing well at his club. And we know his quality. We really know his quality from the junior level. The guy has been doing well. I remember Luther Singh, I think he scored 3 goals in one game against Cameroon. He is a good player. He can play in the midfield also. Secondly, why is Shandre Campbell not been given a chance? He is the only South African player in the Champions League. He is the only South African player. He's playing for the big team in Europe, one of the big teams in Europe. Why these guys are being overlooked? Thirdly, why is Luke Leroux not in the squad? He's playing in England now. He is doing well. Why these colored guys are not being given a chance? And another thing I have noticed, when a colored guy did a flop in the game, it's easy to criticize that guy. Look at Lies Foster. Yes, I was angry for being selfish, but you mustn't criticize the guy. I see on Facebook, everyone is saying Makgopa must start, Makgopa must. I'm like, Makgopa is an average player compared to Light Foster. Yes, the guy did a flop, but we need a key player to start on that game. We need goals, guys. Let's be honest. We need goals. I'm not saying Makgopa is a bad player, but he is an average player compared to Lyle Foster.
But he was part of the most successful team.
Yes, I understand. But let's be honest, guys. I also did criticize the guy. But we cannot take away that the guy has got experience. And also he is our top striker currently because Reynas is injured. And I will go on and talk about Adams. Yes, Adams, his what you call it, his form has dropped. But the guy was good at Stellenbosch. Hence he's at Sundowns as we speak. Also Pesadine played one game for Sundowns and he didn't do well. He was dropped permanently. It's like he's not existing anymore. Always the colored players are being, they are being treated unfairly, man. Now we are struggling as a country now because we need those key players with experience.
So can I ask? So can I ask just for the last minute here? Are we not overreacting? Because I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we were all booking passports, and then obviously whatever happened with Tebogo Mokwena happened. Is it not a case now we're just going through that emotional change as well, dealing with the situation, and it's not that bad?
Yeah, I understand that. Everyone was excited that we are going to the World Cup up until this thing of Tebogo Mokwena came. And then, I mean, maybe even the guys also are no longer focusing now. I don't know what is going on. But to be honest, we really need key players to start tomorrow. We don't need Makgopa to start the game. We need Foster to play more minutes than Makgopa. I'm sorry. But honestly speaking, we really need Foster tomorrow. Whether we like it or not.
For time, I'm going to jump in. I want to bring in Patrick. Patrick, tell me about the game. Welcome.
Hey, how's it, Mr. UT?
I'm holding the lever, my brother.
I don't think you remember that I even left this live when we were watching the game. That's how much emotional the game was. But, after the game, I kept thinking of one thing. When it's not your day, it's not your day. I cannot sit here and say the boys did not create chances. I cannot say the boys when unlucky. Like they tried. We hit the post twice in that game. Twice. We had a 1-on-1 that did not go in. That was cleared off line. That's 3 goals that I'm counting. Three clear goals that we could have scored. But when it's not your day, it's not your day. So we can come here and debate what the coach should have done, it should have not done. I believe, yes, the double pivot thing was not necessary. I felt like for a team that was going to play a low block, I don't think it was necessary. And also even the changes when he put Obas in, I felt like it should have just substituted Sitole and then maybe added the Moremi on the left and then just told Apollos to play 10 and then Mbule to go and play 8. We would have had more attacking options then. So I just felt like it was just unnecessary for him to keep playing with the 6-6. It just killed our creativity as a team. But having said that, we tried pushing. We hit the post twice. We missed Zimbabwe. You know when you measure your success when the other team celebrates a draw with you. That's how you measure how good you are. When the other team is just celebrating a draw, then you know you are that good. Because they don't even think of a win against you. So Zimbabwe out there, after the game, they were celebrating as if they won the game. And for us, it felt like a loss. And mind you, in this whole qualifying area, we lost 1 game. It's not like the team has been bad. We need to fix our administrative issues because every time we always get these results because of administrative errors that happens all the time. So we just need to fix that because now maybe as fans we need to start having the coach's number and then telling him, okay, Sban has a yellow card, and maybe we need to do that ourselves because now it seems like the administrators in SAFA are not doing their job. So I feel like that's the problem over there because when you look at the record of the team, we lost 1 game, despite the one that we deduct points. That one becomes an automatic lose, but we did not lose that game. We did not even if we didn't play Mokwena at that time, we were gonna win that game anyway. But
I wanna ask you about the double pivot thing. What do you say to the person who'd say Mudiba's flying, Mudawu's flying, you've got Musona, Billiard, Munetsi, Chirewa. You can't leave that bare.
Yeah, during the game, I remember I said during that game, you had Mbogazi and who else? Who was Pet and CBC.
Yeah,
they used to playing together at club level. They know how to cover each other. You just needed Mrembula was just sitting back. He was not even pushing up. We sort of played like when you look at it, we played with a back 5 anyway. But those 3 could sit there, even though they are not that fast. But you it's a sacrifice you're gonna have to make when you're playing a low block team that is gonna play you on counter. I mean, the game that we played on Friday is a practice game for tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow we're going to see the exact same thing that Zimbabwe played because Rwanda has nothing to lose. All they need to do is to get a draw and celebrate and say we got a respectable result against South Africa in this whole World Cup qualifier. We got a respectable result. We didn't end it with a lose. I think that was a practice game. Then we need to now practice on how to break those low block and still find a way to keep our structure because it felt also like we kind of like lost our structure whenever Zimbabwe was attacking with the counter. We lost our structure. That's hence the Mbogazi incidents that happened. It's because we did lose our structure in the end because we were trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink. So we need to maintain our structure and now play to break the team, not to play just to hold the ball in there. And the route one game it just needs to stop.
What time I'm gonna jump in? What time I'm gonna jump in? I wanna bring in Glenn. Glenn, hey, batuballa, lewana walla.
Kila lagoti.
Glenn, welcome. Urinka came as a
South Africa, Lord, man, OT, man. We have been riding our luck for such a long time. Now the chicken has come home to roost. We have been riding our luck for such a long time. You know, I've always had a problem with how Hugo Bros was playing. He was playing this type of European football, not the North African football. And then in games when you needed to play South African style, like in games where you tend to dominate, he doesn't do that. He's so stubborn to a point. He's so stubborn to a point where Opala logo alter the game plan to suit the needs of the situation.
Yeah.
So Mara, Gutulana bra mo abita di star abita mo launch abita mama. We need to remember one thing. This is a team sport, James. And in a team, now I'm looking at England, for example. England for how many years England military staff failed? What have they achieved? It's a question that we need to ask ourselves. Now I'm not going to blame the team, but I cannot blame that issue at technical team in terms of their failure to identify problems and to come up with a relevant solution. For example, the issue of double pivot. Let us not dwell much on the issue of double pivot because we needed to at some point we needed to get what you call some type of leverage more defending because we must remember you have Billiard who's a runner, you have Mosona who's good at holding up play. What will happen if it was the mokwena one anymore? So we needed Obasi, we needed Mokwena or Bakono Tusa in terms of our defense at some point. Even though I had we needed them. We must acknowledge the fact that we needed them.
Glenn, what do you say to the people that would speak about Hugo Bruce has never really had a set B team? Do you think that this is now also maybe the chickens coming home to roost, that some of the players you're calling up, yes, they're good, yes, they might be on form, but they hadn't been in the team for that long, you know? You look at Foster didn't play AFCON, for example.
You know what my issue about Hugo Bruce, he's falling on his own sword, Pila now we are going. Okay, sharp. Let us talk about Chiefs. I hate the player Kaizer Chiefs. Mara, if you look at the type of football Hugo Bruce will achieve, there are certain players for Chiefs where they can adapt to that play. Chiefs is playing boring football one time, and then Hugo Bruce South Africa to play boring football. There are players for Chiefs who are also that you can call upon and say, when I got to say in terms of pressing high, you got to say in terms of and then you gonna just play out. So issue at ya beat team. I can't really beat team because of what we let team is the agent. Don't you remember about the overseas again? When you remember forget the overseas, one quarter the overseas. Mudu chabalala, what's that?
Yeah.
The 2 minutes, what's that? Some dushabalala, man.
Maroka can some dushabalala like a crans game so.
He's an agent. Some duchabala. It is a lost cause. Let this boys enjoy.
Maraklen, okay, last question. But the thing is, it wasn't a lost cause 3 weeks ago. What changed? All of a sudden, like a Bruce, ka selection, what, mara just a few weeks ago, really sharp, nati, remezi into FIFA.
Even if you look at our performance for AFCON, it's just that we got a medal. Mara, honestly speaking, we all knew there are cracks here. There are cracks here. The first thing we are depending on Makopa. As a country, we are depending on Makopa, a defending striker. How can we depend on a striker that is good for defending, not scoring goals? And yet you want to come here and say, and sing Hugo Bruce's praises. We must be fair onto ourselves, gents. I remember what a high mo.
Yeah, man. For time, Glenn, I'm gonna jump in. Let me bring in CJ. See, before CJ you start, the next panels, the next hour is going to be about tomorrow's game. So the people who are in the comments, in the queue, please. We're going to be speaking about tomorrow's game and previewing what we think is going to happen. Sinje, don't stop.
La.
Yeah, you were in our feelings today, man. Sinje, what did you think about this game?
Look, I think. Looking at the starting lineups, you know, I think also the red card to Musona also had a huge impact on the outlook of the game. It's quite sad. It's quite sad to witness how Bafana did not have the hey, Mr. Oti, God is funny, you know?
Yeah.
We worship a God that is very funny. You go to a national television platform and you speak about what are chances, and you bash Chiefs for not converting their chances, and you like, what are chances? And then God puts you in the same position. But the hypocrisy in our coach is that he doesn't bash the chances that were not missed. Instead, he sees those chances as a good sign, as though that we played, and then, which then tells me that we are not dealing with an honest person. You know, if he had reacted the same way, with the same arrogance and the chip on his shoulders as he did when he was bashing a Kaizer Chiefs that failed to convert its chances, I would have a little bit of respect for him. But protecting his players and protecting them from being towed by the media and fans, for me, it was one of the most funny things that I saw in this game. But in terms of, I don't think there's something that Hugo Bros could have done differently, that I know that he was going to do differently. Maybe I see something that probably we did not think Hugo Bros relies on, which is individual brilliancy on the players that are injured. What happens when those players that are now, when you profile players to substitute your stars, do not have that individual brilliancy that has pulled you through. If you look at the games that he has won, you could see that sometimes we now go back and say, maybe that Mbata shot that
the two shots, those are two.
Yeah, that pulled you through. Oh, that was the winning. You got that win because of the individual brilliance of that player, not necessarily that it was a game plan. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Is that it gave, for me, it opened up that eye that probably I didn't even know it existed, or looked through the game, or the lens in which I watched the games through, in this case.
But Sinja, can I ask, do you think that Hugo Bruce, in as much as you know, I don't necessarily agree with him a lot, but it feels as though for this game, he was shaking and he started doing things that he hadn't done previously. Picking a form player, putting Mbule in, picking some of the guys, your Lau Fosters and those guys, and putting them in. It feels like a non-Hugo Bruce move, if that makes sense. And now at crunch time, he was doing it.
Sorry, I was breaking. I didn't catch that.
No, I'm saying Hugo Bruce had never picked really players with noise and players that were on form per se. And now you see Mbule coming in, you see a Foster coming back in immediately, you're seeing Mbogazi. I know he was one of the only people left, but Mbogazi, you're seeing him do things, bringing back Boyayas Tole. It's not things that he normally would have done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you on that part. But what does that do to your play layout that we've gotten to be accustomed with, and your players as well? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Look, like Lesotho have just beaten Zimbabwe today.
Mm.
I think they're playing today, Mos.
Mm.
And Lesotho won.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
To show that Lesotho has the know-how and the playbook to beat a Zimbabwe that we went at. Maybe the Zim players were not as, I didn't even look at the lineup to see if it's normally the same players that were playing as well against Bafana. But other than that, me as a I'm going to America, Mr. OT, with Cape Verde. As Usmari was a Cape Verde, as the son-in-law, as a Cape Verde. I'm going there with Cape Verde, so we don't need calculators there by the in-laws. We are true. Other than that, Mr. OT, I've already practiced the Rwanda national anthem. Ha! I'm standing behind Ntwari. And Chiefs players, they don't disappoint us. Billiard did the things.
For time, CJ, for time. Guys,
Get
we're
your
gonna go.
Cassie or scientific calculators, guys.
Hey.
Pythagoras.
For time, Ntlugele. Oh, we're solving for pi. Guys, we're gonna move into now the preview for tomorrow. Guys, noma ungangena ngesizulu kumnandi simnandi ukangena kaSesotho, whatever you feel comfortable with speaking, it's okay, but it's gonna it's just that money sometimes. Anyway, okay, this is what I wanted to say. This is what disappoints me, and maybe it's disappointing for South African teams as a whole, because last week we saw the under-20s come in versus Colombia, absolutely not play a first half. They were not in that game. They were scared. They were scattered. They were far away from each other. They were scared. I watched the Bafana game and I'm seeing Apolis is playing on the wing. I've never seen Apolis playing on the wing. But they don't know what they're meant to be doing. Lau Foster, and as much as we're saying EPL and all of that stuff, Ulal Foster hasn't really clicked. To be honest with this team, we're seeing Uyaya no Mokwena, which is, if you watch the watch along, the first thing I said was, well, this is the team, or this is the kind of setup that we beat Morocco with. I think Hugo Bruce was playing it safe, and I think the safety for me was my issue. That guys, yafiwa, and when you get to this stage, you have to show up. You are the one that has to show us good to win. There's a team called Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast and Gabon are literally on 23 and 22 points. I don't know how it's going to end today, but 23 and 22 points. Yeah, Gabon is about to be the best second place finisher with 7 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, whereas Ivory Coast has 7 wins and 2 draws. When Ivory Coast came out into that game with pressure, Bashaban to 7-0. Right? So I wanted the fire. I wanted to see that, okay, guys, this is we really want this. This is our last chance. One of our last chances. We need to do it for ourselves after everything that has happened. And that's what I was missing. I was missing Loapolis often Tatipola man, and he wants to go by himself and go score, as we said, Pirates all the time. Right? I was missing just an attitude, man. And the reason why I speak about this is that we see it all the time. Pirates versus Pyramids. Okay, no, Pirates versus Pyramids is a little bit different, but Manje, you're playing differently versus this team, they beat you. Sharp. Sundowns, you're in a final versus this team. Why aren't you coming out and playing? Banyana, you are now in a crunch game. We saw it versus Nigeria at Loftus. You're in a crunch game. We need you to come in and show us that you guys care about this. And all we saw at the end of the day was safe. Just safe. Just think, Siyasaba, we've gone back to old setups, we've gone back to this, we don't want to play the ball, we don't want to do the things we've been doing, we just want to play safe. And I think that is what kills us every single time, especially when you reach a place where now it's time for you to push through. Now it's time for you to push through. Now it's time for you to show us, right? So I think that's what I was missing from the team, man. Like, wanted. You know, Zimbabwe wanted that game for whatever reason. You guys can speak about it however you speak about it, but Zimbabwe wanted that game, and I disagree. There was a point towards the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half where they were playing. They were playing. In fact, Bafana looked better because Zim was pushing people forward. It's only after the red card where we really saw a low block. But they wanted it. Zimbabwe had chances. Zimbabwe put us under pressure. Right? So that's why you want, man, the big teams need that thing. You know, when you're a big dog, when it's big dog times, you show that you're a big dog. When it's big dog times, you look at it and go, okay, Zimbabwe, no disrespect, but you haven't been in this tournament. We had been polled for the whole time. Now we need to take it. So that's why, man, can we just, man, even tomorrow, I don't care what's happening with Benin. I don't care about whatever. I just want to see the boys come out and be hungry. Just be hungry. Show us that you want this thing, man. Show us that you really care about going to America and 2010 and 2002 and 19. Show us something, man. You know, but anyway, that's my rant for the day. We're going to move into Bafana versus Rwanda. We're going to speak about tomorrow. We're going to speak about what we're thinking about tomorrow, and how we feel that match is going to pan out. So guys who are coming in now, we're going to do this for an hour, 2 panels, 5 people each, and then we're going to come in. Guys, if you want to speak French, look, we'll try, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, Mnyageni, welcome. How are you?
Ngiyaphila bhuti wami kunjani?
Ngimnandi na imatch kusasa siyodlala neRwanda uthini ngale game?
Yeah, okay, ngibulise abalaleli, ngibulise nepanel. Kusasa I believe ukuthi South Africa izowina, and I believe ukuthi izoqualify. Because right now mengibheke le game le eCameroon, like mengibhekile nje ukuthi yini into ezoyenzakala. So already I'm calculating for second positions. So mengicheck ukuthi khona abazothathelwa 6 points abo Cameroon. In Nigeria has a big chance ukuthi kusasa mengawina 3-0, they they become the second best, then they can qualify to playoffs. I think right now if Gabon is guaranteed, I think it's only 2 teams ngokubona kwami guaranteed report engazi ukuthi lezi ku 16 points, and Nigeria mengawina kusasa boyithathela only 2 points, which is izobabeka ku 15 points with the superior goal difference. They will qualify as the second best.
Hey, Mara, that second best is tough. Khona bo 18 points la. That table.
Angisho ungakhohle ukuthi basazodeducta 6 points.
Okay, yeah.
Basazodeducta 6 points. So calculate manje ukuthi okay, right now I know Burkina Faso is guaranteed, Gabon is guaranteed.
Yeah. Hey, Nyageni. Guys, is it me? Please let me know. Is it me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Oti.
Okay. Let's see if we can't get Mnyageni back. Mnyageni, I'm going to come back to you. Let me bring Mko for time's sake. Mko, can you just jump in here? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Tell me what you think about tomorrow's game. Welcome.
Thank you, Oti. I think we need to win tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. It's our only chance in trying to make sure that we qualify. Whatever happens in Nigeria against Benin, let's not focus. Let's not put our minds to that. We have a duty as Bafana to win our last match in the group, and we need to just go out there and do what we're supposed to do. And one thing that I wanted to say when I OT, this is what I feel. I feel like we've shifted from the real issue that has led us to this situation.
Okay.
Yeah, the real issue, OT, is not the performance of Bafana. All of a sudden, we've forgotten what happened with the team manager and the talking of points.
Yeah.
That's the real issue. The Zimbabwe game, for me, we shouldn't even be, going back and forth about what happened in Zimbabwe. I mean, like what happened with Zimbabwe. We drew that match. We created so many chances in that match. It was the according to me, and this is my opinion, because I know what happens when we don't win a match as a supporters of Bafana, simply because we want to qualify for the World Cup. We go back and forth to each other. And then now it goes to a thing, you would say, I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, this one is a Pirates fan, this one is a Sundowns fan. We have an issue with that, and we need to stop it. I don't like it. Every time we are supporting Bafana, all of us. And we want Bafana to win. We want Bafana to qualify for the World Cup. But as soon as something happens, now it's Chiefs against Pirates. It's Pirates against Sundowns. Chiefs against everybody else because Chabalala didn't play or Vilakazi was not, selected in the Bafana game. So let's not shift the focus. We know who did us wrong. Let's focus on winning the next match. And this is what I believe in our team. The match that we played against Zimbabwe actually changed the whole thing about the group. Now Nigeria thinks they can qualify.
Yeah.
Remember they thought they were out of this whole thing because Bafana and Benin were at the top there. Now, because we have created by drawing that match against Zim, we've made Nigeria believe that now they can also qualify for the World Cup. That could be to our advantage if you look at it that way. That could be to our advantage because now if Nigeria is going to, remember they are going to, Nigeria is hosting them. That's another thing that we need to look at. Nigeria is hosting them. So if Nigeria now believes that they can qualify, if Bafana draws or lose that match, then what we need to do is just to go out there and win our last match, OT. Nothing less. That's what we need to do. Let's focus on winning the match tomorrow and see everything else after that match.
Let's go into the match for tomorrow. Mbokazi, a big player in South Africa right now, gone. We've seen other people maybe not hitting the form ball, Al Foster. Do you predict any changes that Hugo Bruce is going to make to that team tomorrow?
Yeah, the absence of Mbokazi for me, it's a huge blow, and obviously he's a youngster. I'm not going to say much about that. He's still going to learn, and he needs big players like experienced players in that Bafana setup to speak to him. Maybe he will handle it better in when he comes back. But obviously we need to make some changes. Let's make use of the people that are there. Khoza is there as well, and the guy from a very long time. Actually, I feel like he played a good game against him. So it's not the most beautiful game, but yeah, he tried actually. He was good in terms of moving forward and connecting with the midfield. But we can use Khoza. We can try Khoza. He's got the experience from Mamelodi Sundowns. Pair him up with who's the other guy who was playing with Mbokazi? Usibisi. Maybe we can try. Yeah, maybe we can pay him with Usibisi. Let's see. What I know is that we have good defenders in South Africa. We've got we've got an abundance of them, if I can put it that way. So the fact that a youngster like Khoza is there in the Bafana setup, he's got an opportunity to prove to us tomorrow if he's up to the task. So let's not worry too much about that because the talent is there. Let's go out there and make sure that we win the match.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me go to Andile. Andile, welcome.
How's it, Mr. OT?
I'm good, my brother. Tomorrow, Rwanda, what are we doing? What's the plan? How do you see it?
Mr. OT. Okay. So first thing I want to start here. I'm sorry to go off topic, but I want to say congratulations to Morocco under-20 for making the semi-finals of the under-20 World Cup. I think we need to, as South African supporters and football fraternity, we need to also humble ourselves and learn from other people and learn from other countries.
Mm.
Morocco have proven themselves at different levels at this point. At the World Cup, going to the semifinals, and then now the under 20s as well, which means they're doing something right. Okay, then I want to go into Ibafana Manj. For me, I think the bigger conversation that needs to be had here, because now we're all patriotic and we all want Ibafana ukuthi iyongena kwi-World Cup, iyosirepresenta khona. But for what purpose when we're struggling to qualify in a group where most teams were not that great, including Nigeria?
Yeah.
What's going to happen when we get to the World Cup? Are we just going there for a participation trophy? Because it's actually kind of painful watching us get dominated by so-called elite footballing countries. Even watching the under-20s was it was a difficult watch for me. Watching them against the USA, watching them against France, it was a difficult watch for me. Watching them against Colombia was difficult to watch because in my heart I know we have talent, but it's not being shown in the way that it's supposed to be shown in those stages. And it goes back to what I've been saying is that we need to go back a couple steps and get the development thing right. Yes, we're doing things, we are implementing things better than before, and that's why we're seeing ourselves in these conversations and in these situations where we've got an under 20 AFCON Cup, we've got a semi-final AFCON, but as a South African nation, we should be doing way better than that, and we all know this. We should be in that top two conversation of best African countries in football. That's a no-brainer for me, and I think we've underperformed as a nation, and just specifically on tomorrow's game.
Yeah. Wait, before you move on.
Yeah.
Is it a case for Africa as a whole that as Africans we focus so much on dominating Africa that we don't think about what happens when we have to go out into the world? Like I asked a question a couple of weeks ago that Bafana last played a top side in France, 5-0, and since then we haven't really gone to those countries. Do you think that that's the case? Because even the best case scenarios of our guys have not really lit the world alight like that.
I totally agree with you. I think Hugo Bruce is definitely to blame here, because I've literally heard Hugo Bruce say there was a time where there was an opportunity to play a friendly, not even against a European nation, it was against Morocco, and he declined the offer. He said no, he doesn't want to play Morocco because what happens now if they lose terribly, like they lost against France, and then support the fan base is now on his neck in terms of like South Africa's performance. So he was saving face and protecting his own emotions. But we need to expose ourselves, to show ourselves where we lack so that we can go back and do the work. Because the reality is football is the most competitive sport in the world. Every country has talent on some level, right? Like every country has it. But there's countries that have talent and they have structures in place and a level of professionalism that is far beyond ours. So we need to understand that context as well. It's not just about us having Kasi flavor and talent, which is awesome and amazing, and it speaks to our culture and the beauty of it. But at the end of the day, this is a professional. These are professional environments. Like I was even commenting on like a post. I know I was being picky, but there's certain players that are not even on diets at youth level. Most players are not even on diets at youth level. I'll tell you now, from even a rugby context, there's this. I don't know if people support or watch rugby, but there's these under 18 Cravenweek kids who I think they were interviewing one of the kids from Westville Boys, and he was saying they put me on a diet plan at the age of 14. I was a scrawny small kid, and they put me on a diet plan at the age of 14. One of my coaches in school, and this is why I'm as big as I am now. So you got to look at like if they're doing it for rugby, which is not as a competitive sport as soccer, why aren't we taking these elements of the game so seriously? Fabregas is one of my favorite players.
For the last minute here, I just wanted to ask you, is it resources, number one, for the last minute? Is it resources? And then number two, what's happening tomorrow?
I would say it's intentionality. Resources do play a part, but it's also being intentional about every step of development. That's the big thing for me. And then tomorrow, look, we should go. We should win that game tomorrow. For me, we need to play. I think the mistake we made was playing two holding midfielders. In Yaya and Thing. I think maybe Mbata should be in there. I know Mbata can lose the ball in critical moments, but maybe we can play Mokwena in a more defensive role and play Mbata a little bit more higher up. I think that might work for us. And last point, I've always said this. I made this point. People were hating on me. I said, Reynes is a much better finisher than Foster. You don't have to play in the English Premier League to see. You just need to observe without feelings.
Okay.
Reynes is a better finisher than Foster. That was the other thing that I wanted to say, because people were saying no, EPL can't compare EPL and PSL. But guys, it's football. But yeah, anyway, cool.
For time, I want to jump in. Malume Kuto.
My brother.
Do you have the cape on, Malume Kuto?
How are you, Oga? How far now? No grief for no
no grief
for Benin Republic. We go show Benin Republic last born. See, I'm mixing my 11 with Nigerians now. Impossible. Mr. OT, I think the problem with you is that do no research. Put no makeup on. You're not wearing suits like at Sky Sports. Look at what Sky Sports are doing. Why are you failing to do what Sky Sports is doing? You don't have no big screen.
I get it. When I do it, I get banned. Remember, I used to do it, and then I kept getting banned.
No, hear me out. I'm saying you don't have big screen behind you. You don't have suit. You don't have makeup. You don't have a female co-host. You are not bringing legends to this show. It means you are failing. You are not serious. You're not intentional. That it's sarcasm.
Yeah.
The funds are not there. I was just responding to something that was said earlier on. The funds are so important. We cannot just simply dismiss them like that.
Yeah.
Rather, it's an afterthought. Mr. OT.
Can we though? Because I mean, at our level, I don't know. Yeah, how far are we? Facilities wise, if we were to come together. So the HPCs, the Chiefs Village, all of those things. Can they not come together and do that?
Mr. OT, Chiefs, they try. They have proper diets. Make no mistake. Sundowns. Zamosheba half time. Yes, one might say that's not the actual time, but Zamosheba half time. I remember this one game, and I'll mention the teams because I was impressed with they played. It was a ladies' game between UJ and Future Stars. During the handshakes, it's ladies' game. During handshakes, one lady, what Future Stars says, yo, laba banuka marap banuka mavix yonkinto bagqoke nama-tight mawuthi yambheka yena i-cox lakhe libhamukile Mr.
Banama-bandish, bashaya muscle bandish.
Mr. OT abanantoni laba bashaya ama-underarmor laba be-EJ kuyashayina la esifuba yi-vix the legs you can see them ukuthi hayi ifakiwe i-rap bamnandi yabona mesichawulana uyazi ukuthi hayi no lezi zifana kahle lezi and laba mebedlula uyabona umunye umpunga inwele ezinjanjani but on the field they compete. You understand? Can we really say Future Stars are not really intentional about it? Let's be honest, Mr. Uti. Team Sugazi discussed this issue. Corporate South Africa is really not willing. We've seen them literally pull out and sponsor specific teams. Teams of specific democrats. We've seen this. It's very difficult to dismiss it when you see it happening and you're being told, okay, look at Highlands Park go down. Highlands Park is transferred to Team Sugas and immediately that very sponsorship is removed from a team that's still in the PSL, a team with arguably a better fan base because of they're going for culture and everything. They go into an untapped market, but it's moved. A sponsor is removed and given to a team that literally has no supporters for the past 100 years. They've been winning leagues, but SuperSport has no supporters but a hired band. You can't dismiss that.
Well, I'm not dismissing it because we always use rugby.
You actually asked a question about resources, but yeah.
No. I wanted to ask you, and I'll give you your time. Sorry, but this is interesting. I wanted to ask you. there's that video I put into the group Yagarasi, where it felt as though he was saying that they went into schools and identified, I think he said 100 kids. And it's almost like rugby as a whole mobilized for these kids. So they all got together and they went, okay, Abosia, Abos Banbani, we're going to put them in the nice schools, we're going to transfer them there, we're going to organize their families to take them in, we're going to take them there, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's almost like they all work together. Could we see something like that in South Africa where you say, Chiefs, can we use your facilities? HPC in Corn and Nabokosh, best coaches in the world. Can we take these, can we take some of these kids, a group of 100 that are now 15, and we give them nutrition, we give them what, and 10 years from now, we do it together as a collective. Do you think that could work? Just as I'm still going to give you your time.
I think it's the do it together part that's very difficult. With who is together, and that together, do they have funds? I get it. You mentioning Kaizer Chiefs, who's definitely number one priority is Kaizer Chiefs, and then you mentioning, I think, HPCSA.
Yeah, HPC, Stellenbosch has a high performance center, plus they've got a developing core. The one Yako Tax has everybody, all of the best coaches you could think of in every discipline, dietitians, what. Couldn't Safa just go, guys, must sevens in together, man. Just for these 100.
It's possible, Mr. Uti, but we can only go so far, because I'll ask you, we all know that usually the greatest of sports stars, they can play multiple disciplines of sports. We saw it that, I think that the biggest example is that guy, Wako New Zealand, who does it at the highest level. I don't think he still plays. Sonny Bill Williams.
Yeah, Sonny Bill, yeah.
Where he literally plays World Cups, and after World Cups, he becomes a boxer. That's very normal. Haluko High School, you can see the guy who does high jump is the guy who does sprints, is the guy who does long jumps, and usually the guy who does short puts is the guy who wrestler as well, is the guy who rugby. You understand? Now, these top institutions, Mr. OT, from people you've counted, apart from Kaizer Chiefs, football is not the highest ranked sports in those institutions. So the cream of the crop, the best of the talents, will definitely go and play Ghana King. Usain Bolt as well, exactly. The cream of the crop will go and play rugby, and then we'll get Amarenza, which is why I look at Tax, a very good institution. I think at some point they were the only high performance center, if they're still not. But more better, Mr. OT, Tiskilabo. I'll come Nandi, Mr. OT. Instead, let us Nandi go varsity football. Let's TUT. La Pendla Lane. La Pima rating. Young understand. So we can't subtract and ignore the demographic SM's hands. Especially look at the player you have behind you, Mr. OT. Oh, not necessarily. Look at the player you have on the screen. He's just been recently discovered, and I look at it and I think about I'll say Chomosono, I'll say Dr. Kumar. When are they discovered and when are they put into the system? Is it maybe South African black players have a different way of being developed compared to English boys? Maybe English boys need the system, and maybe the system corrupts our young players. It's possible.
Well, I think we must have a chat about it proper. Mara, for time's sake, I want to go into Rwanda tomorrow. How do you feel about the game?
I think the best thing, not necessarily the best, but the greatest thing to happen was that we drew that game, Mr. Uti. From a positive perspective, I think someone also touched on it. Drawing that game creates hope for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria looks at it and thinks we can qualify here, given the fact that South Africa could not even score against Zimbabwe. If you don't look at that game, you think 0-0 against 10 men, useless country. You understand? But actually, when you look at the game, the number of shots, the number of gilt-edged chances, Foster rolls it, Ishaipali, Foster beats the keeper, somehow, someone decides to run. Usually players stop when you beat the keeper. You beat the keeper, someone still runs, and two people run. You beat the first one, you try to put it far post, and someone is still running in and puts in a perfect clearance. So you look at that game, Mr. Uti, and you're like, okay, the score is not a true reflection. the score is not a true reflection. So maybe, just maybe, Nigeria thinking that we could still lose to Rwanda might allow them to go hard on Benin Republic. And if they beat Benin Republic in that way, trust me, we through. Because I'm looking at Rwanda, they're not playing for anything. One might say even Zimbabwe wasn't playing for anything, but I think the difference is that Rwanda, when they went to play Benin Republic, they still had a chance of qualification. The heartbreak in that dressing room is different compared to the heartbreak and acceptance that was in the Zimbabwe dressing room. You understand? So we're going there, going to face a Rwanda that beat us and thought they're going to the World Cup. But they come to us, not even wounded lions, Mr. Oti. They come to us with proper broken hearts. You understand? So I think this is the best time for us to actually qualify for the World Cup. We really have a good opportunity, Mr. Oti. And if we want to talk tactics, throughout that game, Mr. Oti, our fullbacks were really applying the pressure.
Yeah.
So if your fullbacks are applying the pressure, and there's a guy who's doing well in the EPL in that number 10 position, do you expose the CDM position and Ufagabo number 8/2, knowing very well that a draw could still sneak in an opportunity for you to qualify? Because that vacancy there, if Meskipuyaya Sfaga Umunyu number 8 and Utebs and Umbata all attack at the same time, do you understand that we run a proper risk of losing that game? Because it's literally 2 guys left. It's Bodlela, who hasn't been playing at all for Pirates, and then it's Umbogas. Only those 2 guys. And you want them to be left alone with that EPL. Mr. Uti, have you all watched Munetsi recently?
Okay.
He's doing extremely well. So we had to guard against that. So I understand how they they placed Kanakimang Obas. I'm saying that because someone just said something. You understand? They had to put Obas to do that, Mr. Uti. So for me, I'm looking at tomorrow, I'm thinking, yes, we can immediately and have with the, sometimes my instructions during the game, Mr. Uti, they can be easily misinterpreted. But if you tell a player at the beginning of the game, which has in Uzoshaya is 6, but you want to push a bit more up, it's easier to digest. But when you change an 8 to 6, they automatically go extra defensive because the mind is struggling to, I don't know if you've experienced that. The mind is struggling to, for example, Ulitlaku in that under 20 game, he was put in to be creative, but it was very difficult for him to understand. Mr.
Yeah, Mara, the time finished. I gave you that time.
Yes,
It was just so.
200 minutes. Mr. Oti, ngamane bashintshe host dlala 200 minutes. Ngeke phela. Ngiyabonga Mr. Oti.
Thank you. Because these are conversations we have in the group, guys. So DM me if you want to be part of the group. I'll tell you how, and then you can join the WhatsApp group. We've got a WhatsApp group, wonderful community. Can I just steal? I just want to steal. Anyani. Guys, I love listening to Rassi Rasmus. I love listening to Rassi Rasmus. Just watch his press conferences. Just watch he's got a podcast. And the way that man explains things, Tina, I think sometimes we make it so, I know I'm off-ramping, but we make it so complicated. So I'll give you an example. On one of his podcast episodes, he was speaking about how he was the coach of the Cheetahs. He was bringing in a new type of rugby and nobody was coming. So he's like, okay, he called up somebody and he's like, look, you've got a link to SAB. Can SAB give us, I'm going to put in the next panel, guys, please stay. SAB, please give us beers. Just give us beers. Can you please just give us beers? It's the Cheetahs, blah, 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 whatever. And he said they went to the Navy base or the Army base and they said to those guys, free beers if you come watch the game. And they sat them on the one side of the stadium. Then he went to the reses, apparently around UFS. And he took those guys and said, free beers, come this side, you're going to sit this side. We taught them how to say defense and attack. And then what was happening now throughout our games was that we were playing the worst rugby in the world, or rugby that people didn't like. But because now we had brought in those guys and those guys were now coming in every week, it felt like there was a vibe and people started coming, right? Listen to how simple that story is. Just listen to how simple that story is. You know, when he spoke about, he was speaking about development in rugby, and he said, we went and sought out 100 kids. And we said, these kids are going to be the guys that are going to be the future Springboks, right? And even said, a lot of the time, the difference between the black kids and the white kids is resources. So what we did, especially with the quota stuff, was to go and find 100 kids and then say, you guys are the best at your school, you're the best in your rugby league, you're the best this. We're going to put you all together, né? And then we are going to make sure that we take you to the school. We're going to make sure that we organize. This guy's going to call that guy. That guy's going to call the other guy. We're going to get you a scholarship to go to that one. This one's going to do this. And then that one's going to donate a little bit of money. And then we're going to give this one a new diet plan. That one can have like, he literally just broke down that they literally chose 100 players, just 100. And they said, we are going to do it, which is why I'm going back to the question of, I don't think it's resources. I don't think it's any of that stuff. I just think that Tina, as Abotaki, sometimes we struggle with these things, right? How hard is it to coordinate between Kaizer Chiefs, SAFA, PSL, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Stellenbosch, HPC, Tuks, Varsity Cup, all of those things? How hard is it to put 10 stakeholders in a room and say, they're undersized, they're this, they're that. We've located them, we found them in LFA football, we found some of them in school football, we found some of them here, some of them are in GDL, some of them are there. And we're going to take this under 15 class, under 13 class, and we're going to put them together and say, guys, laba betu. We are going to take this one. Lona, agna mali, yogudle kai, for a diet. It's fine. We're going to get that from somewhere and funnel it this side. Guys, as somebody who's, and again, I'm sorry I'm off-ramping. As somebody who's been in these things, I've been in the meetings, right? You sit down and you know what they do? Rugby doesn't just happen to have sponsors. I can tell you, for example, at Tuks, the first game of Varsity Rugby, every CEO that is remotely associated with Tuks, every single, they will find you even if you had one semester at Tuks in 1993, right? You'll be invited to the VIP. There's for those who know the rugby clubhouse, you'll be invited, you'll be schmoozed the whole day. They'll do this, they'll introduce you guys to each other, they'll do all of that stuff. And then at the end of that day, they know that they just need 10 of those guys to put in money. Right? That's why you see a Samsung sponsorship. I used to sit with the guy who used to do sponsorships. A Samsung sponsorship. He called the guy. Did you have fun at the thing? Blah, 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 blah. These things are worked on. You know, it's not... Yes, well, Malume Kuto, funny story. It's actually a fight to... No, I can't say. Anyway, these things don't just happen. You don't just get sponsored because you are getting sponsored. You don't just get sponsored because like it's like, hey, we are doing... No, it's canvassing, it's everything. And it's phone calls, it's emails. It's not all just money and all of those things. And Tina, I think with football, we think everything is charity. Mbogazi pops up last year. If Mbogazi doesn't pop up last year because of injuries to Pirates and things like that, do we find Mbogazi? If he doesn't have the absolute luck of being in a Pirates team that is looking a certain way and doing all that stuff, it's luck. What happens to a kid who's not in the Pirates program when Jose's there and Makanya's there and then they move? What happens to those guys? They fall away. But anyway, hey, back to Bafana. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to off ramp. Ray, Bafana Rwanda. Welcome.
Yo, Mr. OT, how are you, my brother?
Ngimnandi, man. Ngimnandi, but I'm holding the lever. I'm scared, but I'm holding the lever.
Yeah, Mr. OT. Ish, now I'm Mr. OT. You know, but Mr. Oti, can I ask you a question, Mara? How did we get here, man? Mesemnandi last month, 2 months ago, lapho besijabulile, yabo, uthi we are going to the FIFA World Cup, yabo, after so long, since 2002, yabo, 2010, but it was a present, yabo. But now, hey, izinto ziyachinja, Mr. Oti, hey, Nkosi yami. Back to
Yeah.
calculations.
Yeah.
Hi, man, hey, for me now, Mr. Oti, all I can say, the boys, they must give it their all tomorrow, you know. You know, Pella, this is not coming from a Kaizer Chiefs support. It's coming to a South African, yabo, because I do believe in those boys. Those boys, they will make the country proud. You know, we need to give it our all because I know Rwanda, like, there's nothing they are paying for. You know, they're going to block. They'll make it tough for Bafana to get a goal because, you know, also Hugo Bruce, I noticed sometimes he panics. That coach, I know, like, he was panicking when he like he saw like last week Friday when Bafana failed to get a goal in the first half and he made a change like boom. I'm asking myself, like, for me, to me, Mr. Oti, that was unnecessary sub, you know. How can he take out Uban Gota? It was unnecessary. You could tell that this guy was panicking, you know. And for me, like, he needs to calm down, he needs to relax, you know, and make the right substitution because he was needed that game. He was needed. I know some people say, yeah, he's bringing bad lucks. I don't care about those fans. But if he was reading that game properly, we could have won that game by 2-0 against Zimbabwe. But I could tell he didn't read that game properly. You know, he was panicking. So, but tomorrow, Mr. Oti, I want the boys to give it their all tomorrow. It's go big or go home. You know?
Marare, what's to stop him from panicking tomorrow? What's the difference for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, like, they must come together, like, as a technical team. They need to come together as a group. Say, okay, this is what we do. Corner manager somewhere, lapha busy corner. Like, they need to sit together and, like, okay, this is the starting lineup. Okay, this is the sub we're going to make tomorrow. You know, he needs to do that decision now because there's no time for tomorrow to, okay, now I'm waking up. Okay, the game is on. And he makes an unnecessary sub. No, he must do it now. The time is now. He needs to plan now, you know. Because Rwanda, I know they're not going to go pound to pound. They'll play a low block and try to catch us on counter attack because they like beating Bafana is going to be a FIFA World Cup qualification for them, yabo. So yeah, and I know Nigerians, in Nigeria, it's going to be a packed stadium there. I know. Nigerians, I once saw their game. They like 90,000 people there. And I know that it's Nigeria they're going to win. I believe they don't have a chance because there's a slaughterhouse there. There, you must watch that game also, Mr. Oti, in Nigeria. Hey, it's going to be a slaughterhouse there. Pack people there, like they pack the stadiums there. So I believe in Nigerians, my African brothers, the drug dealers, they will make us proud tomorrow.
Yeah, born again. Yo, the thoughts and views expressed are not those of overthinking footballer Josh Mokwena. Please. Hey, Mara.
Aye, Mr. Oti, it's the truth, Mr. Oti.
There's no truth here. Angaz. It's your truth. It's not my platform's truth. Please.
But Mr. Oti, can I ask you, for the last question, last minute, Yana? Like, do you think ISAFA needs to reshuffle all of those people? Like, how can I put it? Like, Terry Jordan needs to retire. Do we need like proper like our legends to take over like SAFA offices? You know, if I can put it properly, you know.
No, I wouldn't give it to the legends. We have some really incredible administrators that should be writing stuff. So I believe the former chairman of the Botswana Football Federation, I'm forgetting his first name. You have him, you have guys like him who have, I think he's boxing CEO now. You have guys like Abu Sinong that were in Tanzania. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are administrators that can come in. But the problem is that, It's tough, that thing, to change people, because even if you can call for it, remember, I always say the structure is deeper than Danny Jordaan. Danny Jordaan doesn't vote for himself. So there's 47 vice presidents, COSAFA, for example. So I don't want to go further than that because they scare me. But Ray, thank you so yeah.
Don't you see Dr. Kumalo, the legends from 1995, they can take over, like those people, those ones, the AFCON when 1995, those people. Don't you think there's any one of them who can take over that seat?
But think about even at our peak. I'm not sure about Prasten, but Prasten was an incredible administrator. Uskrima Shabalala. I don't know how good of a player he was, but it's those guys who are running football who are administrators. Dr. Irvin Khoza is an administrator. You get what I mean? So with the legends, I don't know if they've done enough by themselves on their side for them to go and do that. You need people that have actually, you steal people from FIFA. You do those type of things. You get what I mean? I don't know if the legends have the experience that we need now. I mean, if they're administrating right now, I get it. But if you can have the guy who's CEO of Boxing South Africa right now, coming from football, he was CEO of the Botswana Federation, for example, he knows what he's doing. If I can put it like that, those are the guys that I would look at if I'm honest,
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oti. Thank you so much.
Then we go to Tiro. Tiro, welcome.
I tell him before Mr. Oti.
Yeah? Yeah, ngifuna ukukhuluma. Ningifaka ngaphakathi. Tiro, welcome. What do you think of tomorrow's game?
Mr. Oti, how are you? Shono, that disclaimer footy before Nkala. Shono.
The thoughts and views expressed by the panelists or the commenters are not those of George Mokwena or Overthinking Football and should not be treated as such. Anything said about any teams, structures, people, persons are purely of a fictional nature. And do not say anything about the people mentioned.
That NEC committee, nalama BEC governance and whatnots, bonke, niyazi niyasaba, ngicela ukukushola ukuthi bonke, babonke.
Awushayeli, uyazishayela.
Shona wena. Ayibo ngiyasaba ngiyalo wena. No, guys, I think on a serious note, we hold football administration at the lowest in the country. And I mean, I'm even tired of trying to compare football administration in South Africa to any other type of sports administration.
Yeah.
We hold ourselves to the lowest of the lowest. That's why the time umadala Hugo process doing what he's doing. Gumnandi magawina. Gubhlungu magaluza. Abomama izinto masiqala and they go south. This is what happens.
Yeah.
It is because the very umadala found the very administration at the lowest of the lowest. And I can tell part of his negotiating of the contract was to say, do not disturb me when I call players. You do not have a say who I put on the field. That is why Mokwena would come with 2 yellows and nobody would notice. It is precisely because of that. And that is because SAFA itself, I'm trying to understand, why are we even arguing who should be held accountable? Because over the weekend, people, but clearly the whole Sunday, from XN, from XN, people were talking about who should be held accountable. Ganja, why is that even a question? It clearly shows we are at the lowest of the lowest. We have people there that are not even patriotic about the very administration that they're hired for. They don't care. They're doing whatever that they want. They will siphon whatever that they want to siphon, and they will sign whatever they want to sign. I remember there was a point where there was even a question to say, how much is Lacock? Askis to even talk these things. How much is Lacock paying you guys? They don't want to disclose such. You need to ask yourself why. But then if you go to rugby administration and you ask such questions, you will see those answers to say this is how much we are signed for and this is what we are doing with that money. That is why right now you can even say rugby is doing this for their development. What is football? What is SAFA doing for the football, for the development of football? Khona manje we
No,
have an under 20
even sorry, dear, even the corruption icon. It's not that these places don't have corruption,
Bro,
but
like,
the corruption
it's so-
works allegedly. It works towards the betterment of the sport. You know what I mean?
Even when OT, it doesn't mean in that rugby administration, Askis for saying this, it doesn't mean in that rugby administration there's no corruption. Trust me, there is the highest. But then because Leo corruption has a vision, Leo corruption has an end goal, you won't even notice. There will never even be a commission, if I may say so, because he has he understanding is now. There'll never even be a commission of say what to but then the reason why I'll repeat again, the reason why SAFA is what it is because there's no bar. Mongenile, you will do what you want to do, and I get cause next because when you are deemed to be powerful. Khona manje, that's why I'm even singing this song. They're under 23. Labafana lab, are they under 20? Where are they going? Are we going to sing another Pinar story? Are we going to sing another
class
we're going to cream Serrero? So are we going to sing another Serrero story? It is because Khona manje, we are asking them to jump from under 20 straight to Bafana. Ganjan. How? Ganjan, where's under 23? It shows you the cracks and the very wrong things that are happening in that administration. And as is next, people are not even saying this, and trust me, they thrive with the type of mentality that we have right now. All of us as a country, that SAFA administration is thriving. But then asikola, Ksasa, I'm saying asaba Sasa the boys will do the best. I think for me, Hugo Poros lost it Gulea Nigeria game. We should have won that game. Had he maybe an advice agreement, that Nigeria game was the game Lengazi week. Basale Sizala, you come into a game on a 10. Literally, Silebule came to Zimbabwe without a 10. And you are telling me in the whole of South Africa, Abafana Abadala abroad, I don't want to mention names, who he should have called that would have played a great 10. Are you telling me, was he that arrogant to even call up that play just for one game? Just to say, okay, it's Ingrizika, Lodge, Siakting up Rohan, just for that one game. Lodge because one. As much as he was able to call Umbule twice and actually tell him this is an opportunity, couldn't he call Lodge and tell Lodge, Bro, we need you in this game, and this is your opportunity. You do well for us, then maybe we might even consider you for CAF and World Cup. Because what guarantee do we have that we'll have a Zwane or we'll have a Mufukeng for AFCON and World Cup? What guarantee do we have? There's no guarantee. So, but then you could have called Lodge for the 10. Nyabonga, bro. Even the first
profile picture.
It's good.
Yeah, profile picture. Let me not say anything. Let me go to Pikes.
Thank you, Mr. OT.
Pikes, welcome.
Hey, how's it, buddy?
Tell me, welcome. How do you feel about tomorrow?
The universe already spoken, bro. The universe already spoken. We win that game, we're not going to World Cup.
Evan, just like
I'm
that.
serious. When we win the Zimbabwe game, we're not going to the World Cup. Because Benin was going to win the last two, or even draw against Nigeria. So to draw against Zimbabwe was advantage for us to go, because now Nigeria stand a chance of scoring 3 goals, so they can stand a chance to go and play playoffs,
or even win,
so
or even win if we lose.
Yes, you understand. So the pressure is not on us anymore. I think the guys. I hear people are saying Bafana didn't play well. They play very well. They did what they're supposed to do. They can even play 3 hours. They were not gonna score. They were not going to score. We created more chance than Zimbabwe. We were on them. Just that we were unlucky. If you played football, you know these such things happen. You know, we created chance, and it was that moment. But I say, the universe has spoken. We are going to the World Cup. Nigeria beat Benin. We must just win our game. And these guys, I know their confidence on tomorrow's game. Very confident. So I believe in these boys. What Lodge, I don't think it was gonna change anything. The boys are playing, and they've been playing together for quite long now. Lodge was when last did he play for the national team? Let's be honest. So tactics in the game, if you're a coach, you will make some mistakes. Mistakes are there to be made. And I think we didn't lose the game. Just that we were unfortunate, and that's it. And the universe has spoken, guys. We're going to the World Cup. Tomorrow you will text me and say, no, you've said it. You're gonna score 3 goals.
Pikes,
Lovely 3-0.
Why is the universe taking so long to speak for South Africa? Why is it that our teams, man, they seem to struggle everywhere they go?
No, Chief. We beat Zimbabwe. Benin was gonna beat or draw. Because remember, Benin just need a draw against Nigeria. So now Nigerians feel like they stand a chance of going to the World Cup, and they want to go to the World Cup. So it's gonna be a hell of a game there in Nigeria. It's going to be a hell of a game. And they're playing home.
Pikes, now I'm going to trust you on that one.
I'm telling you, I knew, to be honest, the first 15 minutes, I knew that those guys are not going to score. I had that feeling. Because they were relaxed. They win the game before even playing it. That was their problem.
Okay.
And then they start playing, putting pressure more in the second half. 60 minutes, the goal is not coming. They start panicking now. The goal is not coming. 80 minutes, they are not start making more mistakes. If you check that game nicely, if they scored the game first minute or first half, we're gonna cruise easily. So the more you panic, the more you make mistakes. That's what they need to do. They must just relax and play the game. That's all.
So, Pikes, going forward, we go to the World Cup. Do you make big changes to that team? Do you bring back the guys like Bozwane and those guys? Should they be fit? Do you bring back Percy Tau and them, or do you go with a completely new team? What type of questions does the World Cup pose for Hugo Bruce?
Chief, Hugo Boss it's a man on his word. If you perform, it takes you. Right? Percy Tau doesn't fit in this Hugo Boss structure. It doesn't fit. I mean, he tried him, it didn't work. And I'm not saying Percy Tau is not it's not a good. He's a good player, but it doesn't fit on his style of play.
But
Right?
Percy Tau was but Percy Tau was a big reason that we got here. Even AFCON, even before that, Percy Tau, remember, he even rested him because he felt like he was going through personal stuff and whatever. And obviously, we never saw him back. But Percy Tau was a big player for Bruce and our success under Bruce.
If you can check the last few games, go and check the last few games. He was struggling. Because remember, he was building a new team and a new structure and a new style in play.
Okay.
That's why Percy Tau was struggling. I heard is it one guy was talking about what is his name, Lodge. I mean, we have players, my man. We have players that are not even there. I mean, Yaya didn't play. For me, Yaya is the best defensive midfielder that I've ever seen, that we ever had after Eric Tinkler. If Yaya played in that game, second half, Chief, we were gonna maybe do something. But it's a universe. It didn't happen. If it starts tomorrow, Bafana win.
For time, I'm going to jump in, Pikes. Thank you so much. I want to go to Bongs. Bongs, champ.
Yes, OT.
What do you think about tomorrow's game?
Before I talk about tomorrow's game, concerning Tau, I'm just going to say you are as good as your last game. So if Tau is not performing, he's not performing. We move on. We have other players that we can select for the national squad. Yes, OT.
No, I'm saying it from the point of view of, is it safe to bring certain players along for quote-unquote experience, especially the guys that have carried Bafana up to this point? So we have Nkota coming in, I believe, because a Percy Tau dropped out, for example, and maybe Nkota might not be up there. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just asking the question that, you look at a Tembazwane. Tembazwane was injured for a long time. We did relatively well. If he's rehabbed and ready by World Cup, do you bring him in? Do you bring him back into the club? When you look at the young players, that are playing, do you now switch to bring those guys and groom them through an AFCON so that they're ready for a World Cup? What type of questions does Bruce have to answer right now?
Bruce has to try and give these youngsters a chance. There are still good youngsters. You saw go under 20, go na le dipolaka tse re ka di nkang gore re di berekise ko Bafana. The likes of Boma Gidigidi, but le bona, they are still crying out loud saying, hey, look at me, I can still also come and play for Bafana whilst I'm still playing for the under 20s. Yes, Oti.
So, but then, do they skip all the other guys? You still have your Adamses. You still have people in the league. Mabasa was on fire at some point and Hugo Bruce overlooked him. Machalo was on fire. Hugo Bruce was overlooking him. I know the Grobler conversation was also happening. Doesn't Hugo Bruce have a lot to do going forward? Or does he just stick to what he's done up to this point?
He has a lot to do, but Ntate Molonu Dulale arrogant. So he doesn't want to listen to advices. And he's just so stubborn. We are in this situation because of his stubbornness and his arrogance. So I feel like he needs to at least learn to take advice. Inspiration comes from when you least expect it. You can't just have yourself saying, I know better. Even a simple fan. For example, Abuti Kutu, I got like an idea, no. Play this and play that. I'd advise coach to play this. If sometimes I come mamela, maybe uta something new. But for Hugo Bros, agalale lo muntu. He's so stubborn. We are in this situation because of him. Right now, just to calculate this amount of points we need for us to qualify.
Yeah.
I know it's possible, but sometimes how Nigeria are. They could be selfish and play a draw because they really hate us. The amount of hate Nigeria has for us could let us not go to the World Cup. Yes, OT.
Okay, Bongs. Okay, let's look at something that we're in right now. AFCON. Do you think that Bafana can better the third place finish from last time?
If Hugo Bros can listen, can take advices and stop being stubborn, he will go further than the third place. As long as he's still stubborn and arrogant and think he's Mr. Know-it-all, he's not going to achieve anything the Bafana going forward.
Go for tomorrow, Bongs.
If we score 1 tomorrow, we'll have to hope for Nigeria to also win that game. But if it stays a draw, we'll have to score 4 goals to win that game.
Yeah.
Can
we score 4?
With the current squad and the current strikers we have, if people still believe in Foster, or believe in Mokhop. I forget it. Shame. You are staying at home. You are staying at home.
Okay, Max, for time I want to jump in. Look, my thoughts are pretty simple. I've told you guys what I think about what I want from tomorrow. You see, for me, tomorrow, I'm not looking for safe football. I'm not looking for guys who are going to manage a game. I'm just looking for fire. Whether you win or lose that game, I'm looking for a team that needs to be fired up. I'm looking for a team that's going to just, as a punch, just go in and hit and go. And show that you are hungry for this thing. You know, sometimes you need to show. Sometimes you need to score a hat-trick, Mbappe, in a World Cup final, even though he still lost it, but you're showing that there's something, you know. Ivory Coast was under pressure, like I said. They won their game 7-0. They were like, guys, it's fine, pressure. Aubameyang in Gabon, it's fine. We're going to show you guys we're going to win 5. You know, like, show us, man. Show us, even if it's the last kick of a dying horse. Just give us, you know, something. And Wonga, I just want to speak to something Wonga said. Guys, it's not too early. This is why I say the intentionality of this whole thing, you have to be intentional. We're 2 months away from AFCON, which is 6 months away from the World Cup. Now, I'm going to function from us qualifying, but we're 6 months away from a World Cup. If you're not asking the questions now, are you going to ask the questions June? Right before the World Cup? Guys, you need to think about these things now. What is Hugo Bruce going to do at a World Cup? Right? Our Tembazwan is still going to form part of those plans. Who's going to be the guys that are going to be the midfielders? The guys who are on fire right now, some of the kids that are in the league, and those guys, doesn't Bogazi displace Ngezana and CBC and Kekana and Mvala, for example. I know they're not playing right now, but does he displace those guys automatically, even though they were important? I know you guys think I'm kidding about Percy, but I'm asking a genuine question because I think also we have short memories to remember what these guys accomplished with us. I was not a fan of Percy. I don't think I'd want Percy in the team, but he was part of the successes. And right now we've seen a team stumble a little bit at times. That is a team that was newer players now, right? So do you go back to the old guys genuinely and say, listen, we finished third in AFCON with these guys. We moved them out. I don't know the level of the new guys coming in, if it's at that level now. Do you consider going back to those guys? Evidence Bakhupa was outside of the team. For example, he wasn't chosen this round, right? But Evlala has a bronze medal, and I think he played in most of the games, right? So these are real questions. It's not like, you know, that's why I was asking about Foster. Foster did not play an AFCON, for example. Remember, he was going through what he was going through, right? I don't want to put anything on that, but he was going through what he was going through. There's a team that finished third at AFCON. What is the continuation from that? And if last year we finished wherever we finished for AFCON, you're telling me that those players now all have to be cycled out in order to then go and try and do another thing at an AFCON? And I'll go back again, I'm sorry, I'll go back to a rugby. It's the same guys that have been playing for the past 5 years. Really, if we're being honest. Well, now they're cycling in new guys, but there's a structure to it. So that's why, Kere, are we not just happy to chop and change and happy to do all of these things because we're getting excited, but not actually thinking about the future? How do you work these players in? How do you deal with Mbogazi's situation right now, where it might be one of the biggest things that has happened to him? For example, Mokwena, Abaseko. I know they weren't playing, but Mokwena, Abaseko. You know, I questioned these things earlier on when I said, does Bafana have a beach team that you can count on? Remember how long we kept a Velimotwa, no disrespect, we kept a Velimotwa in the squad for so long, up until he was called. And then it was like, oh wow, maybe it should be Sage Stevens. Maybe Cost shouldn't go. Maybe it should be Chain, Stevens, and the girl Williams, Chain, and Stevens. Foster's not scoring. Maybe we should have a Grobler in the picture. Mabasa was on fire at some point. Lepasa was on fire at some point. You know. But anyway, hopefully we win tomorrow. A lot is riding on tomorrow's game. I don't really want to give a prediction. To be honest with you guys, I don't care for the calculator parts of the games because I think that's where we get distracted. That's where we get distracted with all of this stuff. I just want to see a team that's looking at that last game and saying, come hell or high water, we are going to make a statement. I want a statement from Bafana tomorrow. Whether the statement gets us into the World Cup, whether the statement, I need a positive, really good statement where they come out and they go, if this is how we go out, we need to go out with a bang. Yeah, everything happened, blah, blah, we're sad, whatever. If this is how we go out, just hit it. Junior, hey, we were here till 11 the other night. But anyway, guys, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m., I will be here. We'll be doing this. And then if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi, Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana are playing, we are going to be live for those games. So tomorrow, 6 o'clock, we're going to meet here for the watch along of the game. If you want to know any of my thoughts about anything, I have my own platforms, my other platforms, and my own things like my podcast and episodes that I do of reviews and things. You can see that all on YouTube and on Facebook. Overthinking Football Show on both of those. And then if you're looking for me again, Wednesdays is 3-Man Press live on Omni Audio at 12, but then also on the 3-Man Press YouTube channel, myself, Lindo Pep, and Football Talefang, we release Wednesday or Thursday depending on how the game situation looks. And then of course Banter League with myself and PD Jokes and Des Lee on the Podcast and Chill Network. Please check that out. Also, Super Sport, guys. I was on the high press today, so it played during all of this, but yeah, no, Siyazama guys, Siyapusha. Thank you for all the support. If you want to be part of the group, if you want to be a member, please let me know. Then please send me a DM and then I will see how I do it. I'm sorry guys, sometimes they hide them. Anyway guys, I will see you then tomorrow at 6 p.m. All I want to say as I leave is
welcome to GCSE Maths Calculator exam. So you can use your calculator, students, so get them out.
40, 30, 70, nala 8, nala 6, 8 plus 6, 14.
I'm the greatest mathematician on earth. They call me the walking calculator.
81 divided by 9 plus 4
why are you using dividing? Why are you dividing it?
Bring your calculators and remember the words of Papa Penny.
I'm scared, but I'll tie the lever.
Hold the lever. Bye, everyone.